if you want to vend a show, I guess the first thing to talk about would be what to bring. So obviously you're going to bring what you have for sale. So you're going to be bringing animals. And I guess the first kind of topic to jump into is the idea of a display. There are many different kinds of displays that you can purchase that are manufactured and meant for reptiles to be displayed in at shows. And then there is the school of thought that you can just put delis out, and delis can sometimes do well. We were having a discussion last night on one of the Patreon calls with Billy Rose, and delis versus displays, and which one is better, which one is, going to make more sales, basically. And, it was put out there that sometimes maybe delis do sell a little bit better. And I will tell you from my experience, we usually have some delis, and then we also have the ARS displays. And anything that has a higher value is always going to be under lock and key. So anything that is above, $300-$400, that's getting locked up in a display. If it is something under that, a lower price point, or just, we didn't have room in the displays or whatever the case may be, we keep an eye on our delis. But the lower end stuff will typically be what ends up in the delis. And that way people can kind of like look through and pick what they like and take it home. But when it comes to the displays, again, having a lock on there, I think, is super important for the higher end stuff.
You want to tell the kids at home what a deli is?
Oh, delis. So like the plastic containers with, like, you put the snake in and you put the lid on. Please make sure there are holes so you don't suffocate your animals. Have holes in the deli containers. There's also like the clamshell ones that have the hinge. So we typically use the clamshell ones. But you can purchase delis from, almost any reptile kind of supply place. They'll sell you delis that usually already have holes in them, which is kind of nice. But anyway, you're going to bring snakes. So number one on my list of supplies to bring, besides just the animals, is paper towels. You always need paper towels. You never have enough. Yes. So never. I always have like at least a roll and then a backup roll, right? Yeah. Because they're gonna poop in the displays, and they're gonna urate in the displays. And, or on people. Unfortunately, I've had that happen more than once, and had to help people clean up
more than I'd like to admit.
On the floor, and just, yeah. So paper towels would be number one on my list. And kind of going along with that, it depends on what show you vend. Sometimes they will provide garbage cans nearby that you can throw the waste away. Sometimes the garbage can's not going to be there, or it's going to be a little further away. Again, it just depends on the show and how prepared they were for all of this. And so I always bring my own trash bags. So that is for, if we bring snacks or drinks and we empty those out, we have somewhere to put them. Or
you almost have to bring snacks and drinks, though, don't you?
Oh, it's on my list.
Yeah, especially if you're vending by yourself and you can't like leave to throw something away, or stuff like that.
100%. I have vended both with my partner in business and also by myself. And it is, I guess we'll kind of get into that as far as like networking with other vendors and making those relationships work, especially if you are vending by yourself. But again, having a trash bag so that you have somewhere to put things that you don't want to just leave on your table that maybe smell bad, have a trash bag. And then other things that you might not think about, having pens, Sharpies, extra chalk markers. If you're somebody that uses chalk to mark your displays, have a backup of those. We always make sure that when something is going home, whether it's going home in a deli or it's going home in a bag, we will use the Sharpies to write the identification of those animals before they go home. So that way, once they get home, they're not like, oh no, I don't remember what this is that I have. It's already written on there for them, and they can, take a picture or whatever the case may be. And then just having regular ballpoint pens, because usually, at least it shows that I vend, they will come around and have you sign up for the next show. So you're going to need something to write with. So just very basic, but again, you might not think about bringing something to write with.
Especially that chalk marker, man. If you're going to go and have a sale at like the last hour or two of the show, you put that line through your price and then put a new price right down under it, it usually gets people's eyes right there. Oh, I can save
Absolutely.
money.
Well,
Yeah,
and that's a
especially
good
with,
point too. Yeah.
well, go ahead, Brittany. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Especially like with the ink pen you were talking about, and a lot of times some people will run out of their business cards and they can just jot it down on like a notepad or a sticky note and give it
Yep.
to the customer that way, because they might not have the money at the moment, and they say, well, okay, well, what is this animal, and you just write it down if it has a code, like on Clutch or Husbandry Pro, or even your code, and you just write that code down and say, okay, what's the code over the phone, and say, okay, I still have that animal. That way the customer knows exactly what it was.
Excellent point.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that, but that's so true. And that kind of goes into my next thing on my list, which is business cards.